Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Resistance Reborn. This is part of the Journey to Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker book series. It is technically the second book in that series, the first one being The Force Collector. The Resistance Reborn immediately follows The Last Jedi and is a prequel to the Rise of Skywalker, along with the two others that we're going to go through, Allegiance and Spark of the Rebellion. The Resistance is in ruins. In the wake of their harrowing escape from Crate, what was once an army has been reduced to a handful of wounded heroes. Finn, Poe, Rey, Rose, Chewbacca, Leia Organa, the names are famous among the oppressed worlds they fight to liberate. But names can only get you so far, and Leia's last desperate call for aid has gone unanswered. From the jungles of Ryloth to the shipyards of Corellia, the shadow of the First Order looms large, and those with bravery to face the darkness are scattered and isolated. If hope is to survive, the Resistance must journey throughout the galaxy, seeking out more leaders, including those who, in days gone by, helped a nascent rebellion topple an empire. Battles will be fought, alliances will be forged, and the Resistance will be reborn. Just a few thoughts about this book. It was exciting to see where these characters go right after The Last Jedi. I was also excited to see the development of Poe and where his thought process is after all that happened in that movie and what was going to happen forward. You see him grow. Leia Organa is also really good. You get to learn more about her character and about her past and other relationships, especially a few cameos that come from other books. I was also excited to see Snap Wexley and Wedge Antilles come back into the fray. They were in Aftermath, so you get to see some of that play off into this. I guess if you've read those books, which I haven't yet, you might have a little more information than me, but we'll get into that as we go through the connections. Alright, we have Poe Dameron. He's of course in The Last Jedi. We have him struggling with his decisions from The Last Jedi, and he's growing as a commander. He leads a mission to get a list of Resistance sympathizers in this book, and it's really cool to see where that takes him and how he gets there. So if you know Poe Dameron, he is in the Poe Dameron comics, the Resistance TV show. He's also in the Moving Target book, The Force Awakens of course, and The Last Jedi. And then he will also be in Allegiance, which we'll get there, and the Spark of the Resistance. So we got Princess Leia next. She is stressing out over the state of the Resistance until they regroup on Ryloth with another character that we'll meet in a little bit. She is, of course, in the original trilogy. Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith as a baby is where she's born. The Rebels TV show, which we'll get there in my other videos, and I've recently just done a video over Leia, Princess of Alderaan, which is kind of like her first appearance, I guess, in the Galaxy Connection stuff. So the other character they meet is Yondor. He is actually on Ryloth, and he comes from a book. He's introduced in Lost Stars, and he's also in the Aftermath series and the Bloodline book, which is a big Princess Leia book. So he is a Twi'lek, and he is part of the Alliance and the New Republic, and then now the Resistance in this book. He's Leia's friend, and she kind of goes there and gets him to join the Resistance. Another big character is Wedge Antilles. We have him, his first appearance kind of chronologically is in the Rebels TV show. He's also in the Lost Stars book, the original trilogy of movies, and the comics, and then he's also a big part of the Aftermath series. When we come to him in the beginning of this book, he is doing farm life. He's with his wife, and their son Snap Wexley comes in and convinces them to join the Resistance. So if you've read the Aftermath books, I guess he is a big part of this, or a sizable part. My brother's read them, so he's told me about this, but I haven't actually read them myself. So you have a little more information on that than I do. He is also in the Poe Dameron comics, the Bloodline book, and he is in the new movies, The Force Awakens, and I guess Rise of Skywalker. So check those out. But he is Nora Wexley's son and Wedge Antilles' adopted son. So a cool thing about this is with Wedge Antilles, Han Solo, they come from a planet called Corellia. And we haven't really seen this in the movies and stuff until we saw Solo. So that is a big part of this book. A sizable part in the last act happens on Corellia. Another big planet destination is Ryloth. This is where the Resistance goes in this book to regroup Their contact Yondor, which we've just talked about, helps them out. If you know the Syndulas, if you know Rebels, if you know the Clone Wars, then Ryloth is familiar to you. So it's cool to have another location we know about in this book. So there's some characters that don't have a big part, but they are very important to mention because in the wider galaxy, it's cool to see them pop up with characters that we know and love. We have Shreve Surgath. He is from Battlefront 2. So if you've played that game, then you understand who this is, and he is a part of the Infernal Squad, so it's pretty cool to see them. So another one from Battlefront is Zay Versio. This is the daughter of Del Miko and Iden Versio, who is a playable character in that Battlefront game in the story mode. So check those out and you'll be able to make those connections. Last but not least, another cameo from the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi is Maz Kanata. She pops up in here for a conversation with Poe Dameron that's pretty cool. If you know Maz and you love Maz, you'll love this part of the book. I enjoyed reading The Resistance Reborn. I especially enjoyed how it picks up right after The Last Jedi and kind of carries you along, so that way you're ready for the Rise of Skywalker and you actually get to see what happens to these characters in between the films and their character development. Thanks for joining me. Please click the like or the subscribe button, and the next one we'll go to is Allegiance, which is the comic series.